It's a very special day here in Morgantown, West Virginia, as the second of what is now two statues sitting outside of the WVU Coliseum, as number 33, Hot Rod Hundley, joined the man who's sitting next to me right now, Jerry West, number 44. It's good to have you here.
Well, thank you. It's nice to be here today.
Just this day, to have, a good buddy of yours, somebody who was, I'm sure, a mentor in many ways to you as a basketball player, as a person, and a friend. What does it mean to see an honor like this bestowed on Hot Rod?
Well, I think personally if he were here, obviously it would be great if he were. Unfortunately, he's not. He would be thrilled. Rod was different. He was someone who loved people. He had a great rapport with people. The people seemed to rush to him. And this is something that I think would epitomize his time as a basketball player. And more importantly, his start here in West Virginia. So this is a great honor to the people who got involved in doing this, to all the people who showed up today. It was a tremendous thrill for them, I'm sure, but more importantly for his family.
You mentioned that you think that he'll be remembered more for what he did as a broadcaster than maybe what he did on the court. What is it, how do you feel like he is going to be remembered? What's the legacy of Hot Rod Hundley?
Well, in deference to him, I never called him Hot Rod. Okay, to me, he was Rod. I've always felt that was something that was synonymous with people saw when he played, the flair that he played the game. And to me, I didn't exactly think it was respectful for his ability, but I think for him, I think it represented what people saw him as a player, saw in him as a player here at West Virginia, but more importantly, what he presented and left here as a legacy to West Virginia basketball. He was a player kind of before his time. Today, at that time we had no one who played a game like him. It was a much more serious kind of game. He brought a fun element to the game. I think fans enjoyed everywhere, as wherever he went to play, people came to see him play.
You've made mention of West Virginia so far, and we're talking about the university, West Virginia University in Morgantown, but for the two of you to be the only statues, the only retired numbers here at WVU, and you're from the state of West Virginia, what does that mean to you as somebody who calls this place home?
Well, I'm a completely different personality, Rod. To me, it's an honor when somebody thinks you're worthy of that, but I've always felt personally that, from my perspective anyway, that a statue really doesn't define who you are. It's a way people want to honor you, maybe remember you. I would be fine without a statue anywhere, believe me. But I think Rod was a little bit different, and different in the right way, that he would be thrilled that his legacy would be acknowledged with a statue of him outside of this building. And as I mentioned out there today, it's just a shame he couldn't be here, because I know how thrilled he would be.
There's something else that you said that I know put a little bit of pressure on the head coach, Bob Huggins, as the last time that you were here, the team was unable to come out with a victory, and you said, hey, let's go ahead and change the fortunes this time that I'm here so that I can see a victory. Watching this team, watching this Press Virginia idea, not necessarily any real star, there's not somebody who right now seems destined to get the next statue outside from this current crop, but what is it about this team as you watch, as somebody who knows the game so well, that you find that that makes sense that they're successful?
Well, I say getting a statue is not the most important thing in the world. Sports is about competing and winning. And at the end of the day, I'm sure Bob would rather his team win and forget about legacies of players. Legacies of teams are more important than individuals. They certainly are. And this is a unique West Virginia team playing in a terrific basketball conference. A lot different in the Big East. More scoring, more excitement, better players. And I talked to Bob a little bit before the game, and he was talking about the difference in how this league plays as compared to the Big East. And this is a very good West Virginia team, and a team that if they can shoot well, they would be a handful for any team in the country. There is no one in this country that you can say would be the favorite for the NCAA championship. Not one team. And obviously I pay a lot of attention because of my involvement with the Warriors today. But this NCAA tournament will be wide open this year, and I think how you're playing going into there, going into the tournament, also the draw that you get can be crucial for success. I'm hopeful that this team will be able to go a long way.
Coach Bob Huggins is the kind of guy who considers himself a historian of the game of basketball. He'll always hark back to former players who he's coached or mentors who he's had along the way. And I know that you and he do have conversations, whether it was during the time that your son Johnny was playing at WVU or now. What do you talk to when you're talking to a guy who maybe is looking for a little bit of, a conversation just about how the game is going or how he's going to approach something? Or is it just, that's my buddy Bob Huggins?
Well, I just say I love Bob as a person. Obviously, his success as a basketball coach, wherever he's been, has been phenomenal. I think that one of the things that we do talk about, we talk about the changes in the game. The three-point line certainly has changed it. The athletes in question have changed it because they're versatile enough to make a three-point shot. Some of them, even though they're not very good shooters, will shoot it, which is ill-advised at times. But it's part of the college system today. They've inherited it from the NBA. The NBA were shooting more and more three-point shots in the NBA. And I think the Warriors are an example of that today. People are trying to follow that lead because of the success we've had in winning games. But the most important thing is have teams that are teams, not a bunch of individuals. And I've never seen Bob coach a team that he wouldn't try to mold into his personality. And more importantly, to try to have a winning program.
I want to ask you one last thing, which is just about, as you've mentioned now, the Golden State Warriors, the defending world champions, and now a team that this season is being talked about, potentially being one of the greatest to ever do it in the NBA. I know you don't want to look that far ahead at this point in the season, but as somebody who had something to do with these pieces of the puzzle coming together and being so good as a cohesive unit, what do you take away from this experience as an executive with this team this year?
Well, it tells you a couple of things that I think you see with all great teams, and this is a great team in this era. I'm not sure that there's teams that they couldn't compete with in some eras. Some of the teams they could not. But as I say, I love this team. They are so close. They pass the ball. They move the ball. Great group of kids together, and when you watch them play, it is a team. We average over 30 assists a game, which is unheard of today. We make a lot of passes to lead to baskets, and yet we can get behind by 20 points a lot of times 7 times down the court, and we're ahead by 1. But it's good for you to get beat sometimes. It's good for you, particularly in a long NBA season. All teams, high school, college, professional, you have to have a system, but you have to have players to be successful. A coach can only do so much, and if he gets the right people and puts them in the right things that they can accomplish something, they're going to be good. And Bob has done that, as I say, with, to me, a team that does not shoot the ball very well. They score a lot out of their turnovers, and defensively they're overwhelming at times and very confusing to play against. Hopefully that will be the outcome and they can beat Oklahoma today.
Jerry, we appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Enjoy Morgantown, and good luck the rest of the season with
Great
Golden State. Jerry West, one of the greatest who's ever done it, joined us right here at the WVU Coliseum.